Good afternoon, everybody. This is Tim Gillette, and this is Tim Gillette Show. Hey, I'm back, all right, with another great guest today. And I know some of you have watched this week and see my stuff on social media and knows that I've had a pretty, shall we say, scratchy throat, weird stomach type week. I got a little stomach bug this week, but I always believe in the show must go on. So some of my guests have waited to book spots. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to even stall the show, do whatever I do to get up here and go live. And today's guest is actually phoning in from overseas as well. So I'm sure she's going to get into telling us a little bit more about that. Sorcha is her name. And literally, we're going to count today how many times I mess her name up, because she's got one of those most beautiful names that it's so beautiful it's tough to pronounce. How's that for a definition of a name, huh? Sorcha, how do you like that one?
I'm sitting here thinking that's a first. I've never had my name introduced like that before. It's great to be here, Tim. It's lovely to get chatting to you.
It is, all right, because I know we've had quite a sketch of quite a bit trying to get, because we tried an earlier date and we couldn't make it. All right, you had some conflicts and we had to reschedule for this, and literally, since you came on my scope, I'm like, that's going to be an interesting interview because I don't know this person.
And I don't even know how to pronounce her name.
I don't even know how to pronounce her name, but I'll make it sound good when she's on the broadcast. That's one thing I will do. So,
oh, it's good to be here.
Yeah. So tell our listeners where you are calling in from.
Well, this is going to be good because these are more pronunciations that you're going to go, what? So I'm from a place called Enniskillen in County Fermanagh in Northern Ireland.
In Northern Ireland. Okay.
Yeah.
I think. All right, I have to go back and check the history because I know I had someone else on from that area. But as we were talking earlier in the pre-show, I said, I think you might be the first one from Northern Ireland to ever be on my show. So I mean, that's a first for me. Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, I love firsts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I only bring the coolest people in, so you know what I mean. That's it.
With the coolest names.
That's the first rule: is they got to be the coolest people on the planet to be on the show. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm privileged. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So, yeah, I got to ignore that email and deal with it later. So, Sorcha, what is it that you do? Huh?
I said, go for it, Tim.
All right. What is it that you do and how are you helping people? Because I got a glance at your website and I found a word that was very interesting about you, but I want you to tell us a little bit and then I want to tell you what the word was.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to this. This is good. I love this. Okay, so what I do now is very different to what I did. I basically help women remember why they are here, what they came for. I help them overcome trauma they don't even realize is blocking them and holding them back, so that the amount of women that are going through life feeling unworthy and undeserving and telling themselves these stories, and I'm here to help them remember who they are and that they are not their baggage, they're not the trauma, they're not the abuse, they're not the story of their past. And that is what I am passionate about. It's what I'm really good at. And what I'm really passionate about is helping them find the blocks and the trauma that they didn't even realize. They had normalized it. They didn't even realize it was trauma. They were just living with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's freeing those women from that is, when I see it happening, it just gives me goosebumps every time. It's amazing.
Wow. It's interesting because when I read your website, the first word I noticed, usually when people are helping people, they're like, well, I help people get victory over. I help people win. I help people get free. Yours was the first time I ever said, when I help women triumph.
Yeah.
That to me was one of the most, it shocked me when I read that yesterday. I'm right now, I'm like, wow. The word, I think I put that in the description too. The word triumph is like in the first sentence on your website. I help women triumph over this. And I'm like, that's like a powerful way to say it. And what made you come up with that powerful word to say it?
Because I don't do labels. So I think labels are for jars in the pantry. They're not for human beings. And I hate boxes. I hate being described, oh, you're a survivor. No, I'm not
Mhm.
surviving anything. Because if you're labeled as a survivor, then it means that you're continuously trying to survive something,
Mhm.
I think.
Mhm.
I'm not a victim. I'm nobody's victim. And I don't see any of my clients as a victim or a survivor. I see them as women who can triumph through life. They can
Yeah.
triumph in their relationships, their business, their success, their health, and they can sure as hell triumph over any trauma
Yeah.
that has happened to them. It is not a life sentence.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a life sentence. They can triumph over it. It's
That
win.
that is powerful. All right. All right. And I said that word grabbed me, and I'm like, it intrigued me. I was like, this is even more someone I want to interview now. It's like, because that, we look at some people don't realize the words they say on their website and how much they will impact the potential customer. You
Mhm.
put that word on there. Now, I'm not your potential customer, but I may know 1,000 people who are, but you just made me get goosebumps to go, okay, do I know anyone this woman can help? Because she just touched me with a powerful word.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I really do. I speak to far too many women who come to me and they have been told terrible things from counselors and therapists. It's just something you have to live with. Just get on with it. Use this strategy, use this coping mechanism. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You don't have to live like this.
No. No, and it's funny, Sorcha, years ago, I went through a life enrichment seminar here in the Dallas, Texas area, and they put like a group name on us, right? As a group, they kind of gave us a name as a group that was something that like identified us as a group. And the
Mhm.
identifying marker for the group we were in, we were survivors. We were survivors. They labeled us as that. And literally that was the story. And they said like every group that came through had a theme, and you guys, that was your theme. Every one of you are just surviving life because of something that went on. We don't want you to survive anymore. And then at the end of this thing, we got to end up giving ourselves a title. And I'm trying to think what the title is we gave. We gave ourselves some other title that was like above survivor. So we were no longer survivors. All right. But I remember that being labeled as that, and then looking, because I was labeled as that, looking at everything in my life as personality. Why was I labeled that from a group? Now, I get it. They weren't trying to label me as bad. They were labeling me to help me fix myself.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm sure, I mean, you see people who probably come into you and women who are surviving, and you want to say, I guess you probably want to say to them, are you done surviving? You're ready to thrive,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surviving is fight or flight, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Surviving's like treading water.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You're not getting anywhere, but you're just keeping your head above water.
Yeah.
But you're not actually making any progress. You're not going anywhere.
No.
You're just staying in the one spot. That for me is surviving. And for me, it is the energy behind words. It's not the word, it's the energy. And for me, a survivor is like life's throwing them crap that they just continuously have to keep batting back and fighting. And I'm like, no, because that takes up so much energy that you don't even have the energy then to focus on your dreams and your desires and give into your relationships and give to yourself and have real connection, because you're threading water.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and there's one of the things we have in my program for helping marketers is understanding you're never going to build a business in survival mode. You will not build wealth in survival mode. It never happens. All right. You've got to get out of survival mode. And it's something very much that we teach in business. This is about building a business. This is not about life. This is about building business. And so many people come in who their entire life really have been survivors. They went to work, they got a paycheck, they paid the bills, they you know what I mean? That was their life. And I'm pretty sure some of these women, if I talk to them, there's probably some trauma in there that they need to be healed from as well.
Yeah.
As to why they're surviving.
Yeah. And here's the thing. It's like I said to you, so many women, I will speak to the most remarkable women and they'll say, oh, I don't have trauma. And then when I talk to them and they tell me things that happened, they don't even recognize that as trauma because they've normalized it and minimized it so that they can survive. Because they've normalized it, and also, they are strong, feisty, independent women. So therefore, they don't want to even look at possibly having been traumatized. And the issue with that is that if you were traumatized as a child, energetically and emotionally, it's going to be a very different feeling than the adult view. When you look at it as an adult with a logical mind and a rationale, but the energy is not, doesn't compute with the logical rationale that they use to normalize it.
Well, also when I was going through that seminar, the other thing they taught us was, you know what I mean, the trauma or the things that have hurt you, whether real or perceived, all right, it harmed the person. Now I can tell you, I had to go through something that really is minor, but it majorly affected my life. Yeah. And it was a minor incident, but I took the minor incident in my mind, not consciously, subconsciously, and used it to help myself back for years. And I'll bet you how many times women come to you, it's minor, all right, but it turned into a major issue to bring their life down.
And here's the thing about that. There is nothing, absolutely nothing in life means anything except the meaning we give it, the perception we hold on it. And that's what I'm very good at, helping women shift the perception and the meaning and the attachment, the negative attachments and stories they attach to something. So here's the thing. I have worked with women, and to you and I in the judgment world, who would think, oh my God, that's horrific, that's shocking. And it hasn't really been a big, massive impact on them. And then what we would judge as a minor, maybe, you know, somebody grabbed them or somebody touched them inappropriately, and it has had the most devastating impact on their ability to have relationships, their ability to trust themselves and trust others. So looking in, we can judge it and go, well, that was small and that was, you know, big, but it's always about the meaning and the perception that we as an individual give to it.
It's and we do it. I don't know. I don't know if everybody does it consciously or subconsciously, but like I did mine, it was subconsciously. I put this barrier on myself, not knowing it until someone said, hey, let's flash a light on this thing and let's shed light on this subject. And I was like, oh, wow. Cause like, I didn't think it was a issue, right? I'm like, oh, that's normal. That's life. You
normalized it.
Yeah.
Just what I was talking about, minimized it, normalized it, but yet I bet it was a really good protection mechanism for you.
Yeah, well, and truthfully, all right, the person who caused it in my life didn't do it meaning harm.
No,
it was my perception of how I took it and how it affected me, and I'm a pretty resilient guy, all right, but I can imagine some of these women that you're dealing with that aren't resilient like me, that like. If it was that major of a deal from that minor of an incident in my life, I can't imagine some of them with the majorest of crap that they've been put through to minorly put it away. Yeah.
But here's the thing, a lot of them adopt very good coping strategies that makes them feel resilient. But as I say, a coping strategy is supposed to be a short-term measure, not a long-term crutch.
Yeah.
But you find people living with coping strategies for 20, 30, 40 years, not realizing that it's a coping strategy that they're now, that is supposed to have a short term. It's for short term use, not your life.
Yeah. Something else that I was just thinking about this too, as well as the very concept out there that some of these people who've gone through, you know, stuff that has affected them, maybe the reason that they appear successful. I want to say appear. I don't really want to say successful, but appear successful in our world because they may have some financial status at a corporation or something like that right now. Because basically they shut everything off that was emotional to them and they just went into the mode that kept them to do the job. Is that something you're dealing with as well?
My clients are quite high achieving women, really high achieving, very intelligent women, maybe multiple degrees. And it's the trauma and abuse, it is the rejection, the abandonment, it is the feeling of not being good enough that actually drives them to be successful. It drives them to, they have a point to prove.
Yeah.
They have imposter syndrome, they have all of those things, and they're out to prove themselves good enough, to prove themselves worthy by all of these external validations. But at the end of the day, they reach these goals, they reach these achievements, and they still don't feel worthy, they still don't feel good enough, deserving, lovable, you know,
hollow, it's like a hollow victory,
empty.
I guess.
There's still a void.
Yeah.
And they spent they spent years, they spent hundreds of thousands getting there, only to get there and go, is this it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this it?
Well, I went through that in my own life, Sorcha, because I mean, I had a very successful business in the early 2000s that by most realms, people were like, why did you give that up? And I'm like, because basically I got to the point like, okay, yeah, so I'm making this much money a year, but it's not happy for me. So I gave it up and sold it all. And I was like, well, why did you do that? Because there was a hollow point in my life that was like, if this is all it is to make that money, I'd rather be a janitor at Starbucks than to do that, you know?
Yeah, because it's not fulfilling, it's not satisfying, it's not, your soul isn't called to it. You don't, it doesn't make you feel alive.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, I mean, before you did this, though, Sorcha, what else have you done? All right. And what led you to this path of getting in here and helping women?
Big question.
I like big questions. That's me.
I love big questions. I love them. It's like, bring them on. I was a policewoman for 11 years.
Wow. Yeah. Yes, officer.
Of course you are, Sorcha. Of course you are. Yeah.
I'm sorry. All right. I just look at you and think, this gorgeous blonde. Okay. Why didn't I ever get that gorgeous blonde police officer to pull me over?
Oh, the things I've heard. Oh, I'm telling you. The amount of guys that please arrest me. Please arrest me.
We're not that kind of show, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
I do remember actually arresting one guy, and when I brought him to custody, he was like, could I ask you out on a date? And I was like, I don't know how we'd explain to people how we met, so I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass on that. That was a no-go.
No. Sorcha, I'm going to tell you a funny one. While working at Starbucks, I spent 5 years working at Starbucks, and a girl come in one night having a bad day and says to me, well, you recommend me a drink because I'm having a bad day. So I recommended whatever the chocolate thing of the month that we were doing, right? I said, you should try this. You'd love it. She comes back, gets it, sits down with her friends, comes back 45 minutes later. That was good. I need another one. My day's just not good enough yet. I'm like, well, tell me about your day. What happened? Me, Mr. Carrington. Tell me what happened. I want to know. Well, my boyfriend just dumped me. My fiance just dumped me, right? So I look at her and I say, I can't believe he dumped you when you were pregnant.
Oh, you did not. Oh,
would have been great if she was pregnant.
Tim, you never said it.
Sorcha, we still dated for 3 months. Now, I'm not saying Tim's that good, but I'm saying, okay, I still was able to because she was a gorgeous woman.
You were still able to get your foot out of your mouth after that?
It took me a long time, but I'm just telling you, we still went on a date or two, but still, she was a very unique woman. And no, she was a gorgeous woman. All right. And I didn't care. I've dated other women who were pregnant before. It wasn't a big deal to me. All right. But it's not like a weird kinky thing. It's just
the very fact that she wasn't pregnant.
Yeah. The fact that she wasn't pregnant. Anyway. And I had to pull my foot out of my mouth to get that to work. Anyway, but the right people can connect in the right way. And that's just my opinion. But anyway, think about this.
The right way.
Yeah. If you were a police officer and that person was to change your world and the only way for you to meet them was to arrest them, that's to me, that's a godsend. I don't know.
Listen, I always say as humans, we are so arrogant that we think we know better than the universe.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I know better than the universe. I know that. You're like, no. I'm like, Sorcha, don't be so arrogant. You don't know.
But
yeah.
But now, I mean, this has just made my show even funner today because of that story.
So I was 11 years. Loved my career, loved my job, and then just bang on a Thursday afternoon, my 26 years of harboring and hiding my secret of childhood abuse just caught up and bit me on the ass. No warning, just sideswiped me. And that was it for about a year. I couldn't get dressed. I couldn't get out of bed. I mean, I had the house, the car, the holidays, the career. You know, to the outside world, I looked like I had it all. To the outside world, it looked like I had it together. And inside, I didn't. Inside, I I couldn't see how things could get better. It felt like every day somebody was asking me to climb Everest in concrete boots. That's the only way I can describe it.
My gosh.
And the thing that terrified me the most was that it's always going to be like this. This is as good as it's ever going to get. I'm never going to get my life back.
Mm.
Um, and I spent a year really sick, just not able to function and go out. And then I got myself together and I got back to work. So after a year, and I was back to work, just plateauing on medication, just
Mhm.
functioning, going through the motions of the day. And at the end of 2011, I got injured carrying
Mm.
out an arrest, and that I spiraled downwards again after that, and I needed surgery and all of that. And I couldn't get back to my job. I couldn't get back to my career.
Mhm.
So then in 2012, the real healing began.
Mm.
I had tried CBT, psychotherapy, counseling, talk therapy, Reiki. I tried anything that was going. And I had a trip to Australia and I went to see someone and they said, "Oh, you need to do some energy work with somebody." I came back home. 4 months later, I went to my doctor because I wasn't getting better. And she said the exact same thing and gave me the card of somebody. And within 6 weeks of working with this guy, I was off all medication. My PTSD, flashbacks, night terrors, depression was gone. And I worked with him to because I had a lot of trauma as well with remembering the troubles in Northern Ireland and things like that. So I worked through all of the trauma that I could possibly get rid of.
Mhm.
Um, and he insisted, he was like, you have to do this work. And I was like, I couldn't imagine anything worse than helping people with trauma and abuse because I didn't go through all of this
Mhm.
to have to keep coming back to it. That was my attitude at the time. And then when my career was definitely over in the police, something switched in me and I thought, wow, imagine if my pain isn't in vain. Imagine if all of the days I wanted a bus to end my life because I didn't want to do that to my family.
Mhm.
What if that wasn't in vain? What if I even saved one life? What if I saved one life and that's all I did for the rest of my life? Then I wouldn't change one day, even my darkest days. I wouldn't change it. And
Mm.
it has led me to this. And it's now I realize I had to go through that storm because I don't pay lip service. So when a woman sits in front of me in pain, I know what it's not textbook learned. I know what it's like.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I know that I can get her to the other side. I know she doesn't have to live like that. I know her pain is not permanent.
Mhm.
And I love what I do and it never feels like work.
Yeah. Well, I mean that is, earlier this week I interviewed a guy as well who just really loves what he does now, and um, I find it very interesting. People who love what they do, they don't say, it doesn't feel like work, but there's times that there's work involved. But still, it's like they found something that guides them. Like I personally don't think I'm ever going to retire. My wife
Yeah.
has a job and she wants to retire someday. I don't. I'm like, and then again, my mentor, my friend that got me into this was Zig Ziglar. I mean, he was still going clear up into his late
Well,
80s. So yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah. Yeah. And look at Bob Proctor.
yeah. Bob Proctor, another one. Yeah, yeah. So
It is a calling in life. It's like I have to do this and it's effortless.
yeah, yeah.
It is effortless. It's fun. In a way, it's fun because I connect with people and then I get to see the results and I go, wow.
Yeah, now here in America, yesterday the rock band here in Texas, ZZ Top, lost its bass player, died, right? He
Oh,
was on stage like a
right.
week ago, and like
I
died
didn't
in,
hear that.
yeah, yeah, he died in his bed over, not last night, but the night before last, right? In his sleep. I'm like, that's the way I want to go. All right. I want to be
Yeah.
like enjoying my life. And one day I go home and say, and after work, I go to bed and I don't wake up. That's to me
Yeah.
the perfect way to go. This man lived his life right up. My dad, the same thing. My dad had plans for redoing the kitchen and he went to get a massage one day and didn't come home. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But to me, that's the people who enjoy their life.
You have to. It's when you consider the age of the universe that we understand it, we're not even a speck, we're not even a flicker.
No.
We really aren't. And people are so worried about what other people think. The women I work with, they're so, what will they think? What will they say? And they're living this contracted, smaller life than they were put here to live. And that to me is the biggest tragedy, not the trauma. It is what they miss out on and what they say no to. That to me is the real tragedy.
Yeah. So, and when we get perspective of our days, I think it really, we get perspective of our days on this earth, and it really helps us understand when we compare it to the planet. I mean, I'm 54, going to turn 55 this September. And in between 54 and 55, there's a very significant day that happens in the lives of everybody on earth. I don't know if you know about this.
No.
My actor friend told me about this years ago. And this past spring, I spent my 20,000th day on this planet.
Wow. Okay.
Now, we look at that and go, well, yeah, so what? That's significant. 20,000 times we've been around that sun. 20,000 times we've been around it. I mean, that's a lot when you look at it. But the world's millions, billions, I don't know. I really can't answer it. I'd like to say, based on what I've read, it's this many years old, but I can't say. Before those 20,000 days, I don't know. When I'm gone, I won't know anyone past it either. It won't be for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can only read what's written down in a history book. So my significance is now. And I bet you're working with your clients the same way. Your significance is now. Not let's put it off until, we can retire. Let's put it off until the kids are out of school.
Or this, I have to think about it. You have to think about getting out of pain and starting to live your life. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You have to think about that.
Yeah.
They're not, that is to me, that is like, oh, this is never going to happen for you.
No.
And that's the biggest tragedy. And they don't realize it.
Well, I mean,
because how bad does it have to get?
Yeah, how bad? I mean, and I get it. I'm a business coach, whereas you're more on the life side of coaching and mentoring. All right. In business we can put this off. You can always start another business another day. You can't put your life off, people.
No.
You can't.
But I think that is where we get so complacent and we think, like we talk about, oh, I'm going out to dinner on Sunday night. Well, Sunday night just might not come.
Yeah.
It might not come.
Yeah.
But people think they've got tomorrow. They think they've got next year. They think they've got next month. And none of us know.
Yeah.
To say I have to think about it, or it's not right now. Now is not the right time. That's just, to me, that's just fear. They're just buying into their old story and identities all the time and staying small.
Yeah. Well, let me twist this a little bit, Sorcha. I really want to twist this because I look at this now. I have taken on since connecting with Zig and changing my whole world to what I do now. I am of the firm belief now. I'm a Christian and I have spiritual beliefs in that. And I believe I'm on this planet to touch and help human beings. I just believe God gave me the gifts to help them in business. But I believe I'm here to touch human beings. And I think the human being that is the last one I'm supposed to touch. You know what I mean? It's like God's designated. He's picked so-and-so, and I don't know who it is. But when I help him, okay, your life on earth is done. Okay, I've completed my mission. You, Sorcha, you've got a mission just like that. We don't know who the last person is you're supposed to help. Okay. Right? So I bet you're still out there seeking to find out who it is. And not seeking as in I want to know the last, you're seeking the next because you don't know who you're supposed to and not who. Yeah.
I get so excited about thinking, oh my God, who's going to be the next woman that says yes to herself? Who's going to be the next woman that says, you know what, Sorcha, I might think that I'm unworthy and deserving, but I'm open to the possibility that I might be wrong about that.
Yeah.
I'm open to the possibility that I might be more worthy and deserving. So I'm ready to say yes to myself.
Mhm,
I'm
mhm,
ready to put myself first without feeling guilty, without thinking that I'm depriving my family or anybody else. And I'm ready to do this.
mhm,
That is my biggest joy.
mhm. It
Because
gets you up every morning, doesn't it?
yes, and but also in that moment, in those, the wee micro decisions that we make that lead to those macro decisions that just change the trajectory of your life there and then.
Mhm, mhm.
Energetically, everything, the whole quantum field changes, everything changes. And that's what I love.
Well, it's good. I mean, that's what when we're in business, that's what it should do. What we do, that should drive us and literally motivate us like that. I mean, that's what keeps us alive and exciting. All
Mhm.
right, to get up and go. Well, yeah, I gotta get up and go to the office today. Great. What for? What's your mission? What's your purpose? What
Yeah.
what brings you to life in the morning? Me, coffee brings me to life because I love the taste of coffee. But that's a whole nother thing we'll go down later.
Yeah, but it's like what inspires you?
Yeah.
What inspires you
Mhm.
to be of service, to go, when I'm getting ready in the morning, I'm like, whose life can I change today? Whether it's doing a Facebook Live, whether it's just who needs to hear something that I just might be guided to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And you don't know, right? You don't
yeah.
know who's listening to this, or you don't know um who hears something that you share, and you think you have no idea that you maybe help them.
Mm. Well, I mean, yesterday, I had yesterday the day before I had an incident happen that because I've been feeling well all this week. My wife had some bug or something last week, and I caught it on Sunday. Thanks.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it's just the love of my wife. She wants to give me everything.
She wants to share.
She just wants to share. She loves me that much. Well, anyway, really not feeling well. And I had someone schedule an appointment with me. Luckily, it was virtual. Like I have one live tomorrow that just got rescheduled because I'm not meeting people in person because I don't want to spread this, right?
Mhm.
Um, but like I get up, I put my clothes on, come upstairs when I'm feeling like crap, and I sit here for 35 minutes waiting for them to come on the call, and they don't. So I just write on my Facebook wall, Tim's rule number one, you've got to show up. All right. Keep your commitments no matter what. And I was shocked at how many people commented, yes, right, 100%. Like, you know what I mean? They needed to hear that day.
Yes.
Maybe this person had to not show up so that I could motivate people on Facebook today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. We don't know
Mhm.
how we are guided and meandering, and why you get that inspiration to say that, or that intuition, that
Yeah.
little nudge to do something, and you do it, and you don't know
Yeah.
why. See, is somebody commenting
Yeah. We're going to bring it up here. It's Facebook user. I don't know who it is. So,
there?
uh, takes action on the reason why you exist every day is important. I feel I was here to help people in business as well. Tim Gillette, always happy that I was on God's wake up list. Great show, Sorcha. All right. So I don't know if that's somebody who knows you or knows me because it's only Facebook user. They have to do this
Yeah.
weird thing to be able to show their name and face. Anyway,
I just love that I was on God's wake up list.
yeah,
Isn't that beautiful?
it is. That's a goosebumps moment right there.
That's lovely. What a
So.
lovely share.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So let me twist this a little bit. I want to get into some of the things. What are some personal things you've got going on in your own personal world? If we take the business out of it, who
Ooh.
are you when you go home and take the dress clothes off and let the hair down?
Preston Nachman.
Preston, yeah, okay, I know who Preston is. Preston, so Preston. I'll talk to him later on how to
Nice,
fix that.
Preston. Who am I? The one thing I love about myself is my loyalty to my friends and family. I love being a great friend and a great sister, and most of all, I have to say, a great aunt.
Mhm, mhm.
Love, yeah, family and friends, and I think that's a real Irish thing. I spent 5 years in Australia, in Perth, and when you move away, when you live away from home, you just see the cultural differences and the way people interact with each other. And I love that Irish culture. I love that connection. It's real connection.
Mhm.
I don't do superficial.
I don't
I
either.
wear my heart. Yeah, I wear my heart in my sleeve.
Mhm.
Um, and my friends come to me because they're like, "You'll give it to me straight, even though I mightn't like it." Because I don't do lip service. Yeah,
Yeah. I
and I'm very
love it.
happy that I don't like everybody in the world, and not everybody likes me.
Yeah.
And I love being at peace with that because it's really empowering.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm
It's
at peace
really
with it.
empowering.
Everybody doesn't like me. I don't like everybody. I don't hate anybody though. All right.
No,
I may
no,
not like you and want to hang out with you, but I don't hate you.
yeah, but you don't, yeah,
I want you to
you
be
don't
you.
wish anybody,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you don't wish anybody any ill fate, but you're like, I'm good with not being in your energy and in your company.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, and I have in my world, Sorcha, I have business stuff that I have to do with people I don't like or don't like me, and it's just part of what I have to do.
yeah,
I've signed up for that deal, and I'm okay with it. And these people who don't like me, all right, if any one of them came to me with a problem, I'd be the first to jump to help them, even
yeah,
though I may not like them.
that's right.
That's hard.
But but that discernment is great. It's
Yeah.
great to be able to separate the two
Yeah.
because you don't allow the emotion,
Yeah.
any emotion, to take over when you, because at the end of the day, right? It is a fellow human being,
That's
and
right.
neither you or I really know what they've gone through and what they're going through and what's going on in their mind. We don't know.
Yeah. Well,
We
that's
don't
it.
know
We
why they're
don't.
behaving and reacting the way they're behaving and reacting in a way that we are judging.
Yeah. Exactly. So. Well, Sorcha, one of the questions I always want to ask everybody, and this is something that happened to me in my early 20s. A boss I worked for at a part-time job gave me advice on how to do the job, which turned into life advice. And
Oh,
that is, he told me to run the job like I owned the business. That caused Tim to wake up and take ownership of everything I do. What or did anyone give you advice that, man, at the time was like, hey, here's how you just get through the day, and it turns out that's something that drives you till this day?
it probably actually works in the reverse for me. Um, if people try to tame me or try to, Swisha, could you not say that? Or I love the fire in my belly. I love my feistiness. I love
Mm-hmm.
my straight talking. So it probably has worked in the reverse for me. If, the Irish culture again, where, you try to keep everybody at peace and don't rock the boat. Whereas I love being expressive. I love, like somebody said to me the other day, "Oh, have you got is your hay fever really playing up with you?" And I was like, "No, I was crying. I was really upset and I was crying." And they're like, "Oh, well, they nearly didn't know what to do with it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I wear my heart on my sleeve and I'm just going to be completely truthful about it. I'm not hiding." So for me, that it works in the opposite. It works like that will give me more fire in my belly and inspire me to even go at it harder. Yeah.
Cool. So, and if you could have gone back to your childhood, giving your 18-year-old self, I realize that was like 5 years ago for you, but anyway,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
If you could give your 18-year-old self some advice, what would you tell her?
Speak out about your abuse much earlier.
Mm.
Don't hold on to it till you're in your 30s. Don't lose your 20s. Don't lose 26 years of your life that you can never get back.
Wow, I hope you guys are listening to that today. I mean, because if you're holding something in, that's powerful. That is powerful. What was just
That's what
said,
I
ladies
would
and
tell
gentlemen.
her.
Yeah. So
Don't do it.
yeah, don't. So well, Sorcha, I want to make sure everybody who's tuned in today, both live on the recording, listening to the audio, all right, gets a hold of you because you've got some powerful messages. You have great help for some women out there who need it. All right, I'm going to emphasize it; they need it. What is the
Yeah.
best website they can go to find out more about you?
So it's my name. It's www.sorchamacaloon.com. I believe I'm the only Sorcha McAloon on the internet. Nobody else comes
Yeah,
up.
I'm not the only Tim Gillette I found out, but yeah, I wished I was sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it's not going to be hard to find me.
No. Well, I mean,
The key in my name.
your personality just shines. Everybody. I can't wait to see you in person now, to tell you the truth.
There's Candace. Sorcha is an absolute powerhouse. Oh, what a beautiful lady. Candace is amazing.
Candace, we got to bring your picture up on screen so everybody can see that we appreciate that. So thank you.
Candace is an amazing musician. She's in Tennessee. She is incredible. Yeah.
She's in Tennessee. You know, Candace, that's only a little hop, skip, and a jump from Texas. So, you know, sooner or later, we're going to have to connect. I'm driving through Tennessee next month.
Oh, you got to meet with her because she, her music and what she produces, she's just released an album.
Mm-hmm.
She's amazing. Yeah. So I love her.
Let her see some of my guitars that I've actually started. We're doing a custom line of guitars. Is one of the things we're doing right now as a side.
You two got to connect.
Yeah. Candace, connect with me on Facebook or reach out to me personally. Candace, I want to reach out. Yes. So yes.
Love it. Beautiful.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't play any instruments, but as you can tell by my decoration, I love music.
Oh, Candace, I don't know how many instruments she plays. Yeah. Yeah. So you're gonna really connect with her.
My youngest stepson bought and my wife got me a guitar a couple of years ago. He helped pick it out for me, right? And I still I've struggled to learn instruments. I really do. It's just but I'm trying. It's a struggle. Yeah. And what I did was I'm a guy who loves projects. So Father's Day, this ad comes up on my Facebook for build your own guitar kits. So I said to my wife, "Hey, honey, can I get one?" She said, "Yeah." So I bought two. The first one got put together because this week is my youngest stepson's birthday, his 30th birthday, and I made a custom-built electric guitar for my youngest stepson who's into electric guitar.
Way. Wow, what a gift.
Yeah. Just to me, and it worked. I mean, I tested it out. I've got a video on my page of him playing it. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So, I mean, but now my daughter, who's not an electric guitar, I go to, her birthday was last week, and I go to see her in September when I go up to speak up near her where she lives. I've got to build one for her. I don't know what I'm going to build yet, but I've got to build one for each one of my kids now.
Yeah, this is it. Now you've started something.
I know.
You can't do for one and not the others.
That's it. I've got to do for everything for my kids. I love all three of them, even though two of them are only stepchildren. They're still my kids. So
absolutely. Yeah. There you go. Candace is saying that's super cool. Rock on.
So I'm looking forward. I hope Candace reaches out to me, and Candace, connect with me on Facebook. I will definitely reach out. We'll get Candace on the show.
Oh, that would be something.
What a concept.
She could play some music.
She can get on and play some songs for us. So.
Yes. Ooh, I love it.
Yeah. See that? You're connecting me with guests already.
The power of the internet
across the world. Wait a minute. It's almost like, all right, you're arresting me, and I'm asking you, hey, can we go out on a date?
Anybody who didn't hear the start of that, they're going to go, what's that about?
What the heck? Now they're going to have to listen to the beginning of the broadcast.
You're going to have to go back. You're going to have to go back and listen, people. Jim, this has been so much fun.
It is. Well, before you go, I got a game I play with everybody.
Oh, dear.
9 questions, this or that. And I think I've got a doozy in here for you.
Oh, no.
Ready?
Right. Go for it.
Number 1, I ask everybody Star Wars or Star Trek to get you warmed up.
Star Wars.
Okay. You're not into either one of them, are you? I wasn't until I was in my late 40s either. Don't feel bad. Yeah. How about this?
Star Wars.
Yeah. Do you listen to podcasts or read books?
I listen to Audible books.
Yeah. Audible books, same thing. Yeah. Audio or read. I've got
read both.
Yeah. I kind of like reading a physical book, which I keep a couple on my desk. But in my car, I listen to audio stuff probably more than music now. Yeah.
But I might have the Audible and the paper copy.
I've done that too.
Yeah. I love the feel of books, and I love highlighting them. Yeah.
This is one of my books that I swear by. This book was written in 1923, And when I was
Oh,
staying on a friend's,
Florence Scofield Shin.
yeah, I was staying on a friend's couch in 2005 when I was homeless, and this was sitting on his coffee table. I'll bet you I've given away over 50 copies of this book, and I'll bet you I've read it 100 times. It impacted my
She was way ahead of the game.
life. Way ahead of her
I mean,
time.
she was way ahead of the game.
Yep.
I've read all of her books, and you could nearly highlight every line.
Mm-hmm.
And the stories of people that came to her. I mean, remarkable.
Yes. So
I love that book.
yeah, it's on my desk. That's how much I love it. Just to let you know.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I must get another copy. I have a copy in Australia. I need a copy for here.
Yep. Okay. My next question is: are you a dress up girl or are you wearing yoga pants?
Oh, dress up.
Dress up, huh?
Yeah.
Even in our pandemic phase. Okay, yeah, she's gonna get up and show it all off now.
Yeah, I'm not sitting here in my pajama bottoms and just dressed from the shoulders up. No.
I did that for my first virtual speaking of engagement just to say I could. Because I was virtual. And you're not going to see this? Why not? And I standing. Like my desk is a standing desk. And normally I would do this interview up, all right, just because I've been feeling well. I'm sitting on a chair today. But normally I'd be standing the whole time. And I did it just to say I did it. So anyway. This is kind of an American thing, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Okay. Hamburger or taco?
Oh, hamburger.
I love you. I love you so much.
Hamburger.
Yeah.
It's not even, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Now, this next one here, all right, going to probably test the Irish in you.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Beer or wine?
I'm going to really disappoint you.
What?
I don't drink.
You don't drink?
They're like, are you
Ladies
Irish?
And gentlemen, for the first time in history, I have an Irish person on my podcast who doesn't drink.
Can you believe this?
No.
You couldn't make it up.
Okay, I'm Russian heritage, all right? I grew up with a grandfather who made alcohol. I have a moonshine bar in my office, whiskey and bourbon to the tills downstairs, a wine rack with 500 bottles of wine into it. And when my wife's here, I don't hardly ever take a drink.
Yeah.
When she's not home.
Yeah.
So it's all personal things. Like, and I love I don't drink to get drunk. I'll bet you my wife says she thinks she saw me drunk one time in the 12 years we've been together. I drink for the taste. So I don't buy cheap beer anymore. I buy if I'm having a sip of beer, it's going to be something that tastes good.
Quality.
Right?
Yeah. It's all of us about quality.
Yeah. I'm done with again. Why waste this minuscule amount of time doing little things? Yeah.
I hate the smell of it and I hate the taste of it.
Yeah. So normally, I mean, if I knew that ahead of time, I probably would have switched and asked you coffee or tea, but it's all right.
Coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I'm espresso, like hardcore. 2 shots of espresso in the morning, baby.
With sugar or without?
No. Well, whipped cream. I have a little bit of whipped cream in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No. Good for you.
And on occasion, I put cinnamon and on it, but that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, how about this, Miss Dress Up? Are you a heels girl or a boots girl?
Oh, heels.
Heels? Okay.
Yeah.
You understand when I say boots? I live in Texas type boots.
Yeah. I don't have, and you know what? I can't wait to go to Texas. It's just always been on my list. I'm pretty sure that if I lived there, it would be boots and denims. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a pair of custom boots. It's like custom handmade boots. They weren't made in Texas though.
Ah, okay.
They were made in Tennessee, and it was an old friend of mine who was she works in the movie industry as a clothing person.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a customer. They were in Nashville, Tennessee for an event. He had them custom made for the event and then basically wore them one time, handed them to her and said, go ahead and sell them. She sold them to me because they fit.
Nice.
Oh, they are the most comfortable pair I own. Trust me. And they are custom handmade boots. And I'm like, yeah.
When I was in Australia, I always wanted a pair of R.M. Williams boots. They're made, beautiful boots, but made from one piece of leather.
Yeah.
I
know. Yeah, I know them. Yeah. Good boots. So,
yeah.
As I move on, all right, are you a morning person or a late night person?
Both, but morning. I'm pretty fresh in the morning. Like to get my day started, and I have a routine. I get up really very early, walk my dog, do my morning mindset stuff, And I don't like to speak to human beings until I'm like really grounded, intention set for the day, and I'm like unstoppable then. Yeah.
Yeah. I had this whole routine. My morning routine is about going to Starbucks, and I sit in the corner and sip on my coffee, no phone, no computer,
Lovely.
maybe a tablet of paper if I want it with me, but and stare off into space. Now, my mom lives close to me now. She's away this week, but mom now goes with me, and it's like a morning time with mom. All right, which I love.
How precious is that?
Yeah. My dad passed away over 11 years ago, and truthfully, I wished I could have done coffee every morning with my dad. I really do. And now that mom's here, I'm taking advantage of it every bit I can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Precious.
Yeah. So my next two are the controversial ones, the ones that everyone watches the show to find out.
Ooh.
And I know this was probably more of an American thing, but we're going to ask you anyway.
Okay.
Is in your house, does the toilet paper go over on the roll or under?
Over. And I fix it if it isn't.
But that causes me trauma.
Yeah. Definitely over. Yeah.
I had a single girl on here about a year and a half ago, and hers is the most memorable to me of all. She goes, "I'm a single girl. If I'm dating a guy and I go to his house and change that roll from under to over 3 times, I break up with him. The relationship's going nowhere."
Doesn't matter if he leaves the toilet seat up, but if he gets the toilet roll,
the toilet paper, that matters. That's a deal breaker. My last one. I asked this to both the guys and the girls, and it has been the most interesting conversation over the years. Boxers or briefs?
Oh, boxers.
Boxers.
Do you mean for guys?
Hey, you could take that question however you want. I'm not implying anything.
I'm going to be really clear. Boxers for guys, thongs for girls. No lines. No lines. There should never be lines.
Thank you for that visual.
You asked. Just give it an honest answer.
Anyway, I actually had one girl who's like, you know what I mean? She's kind of provocative in her marketing and what she does. And I was able to ask her granny panties or thongs, and she told me, she gave me the whole line.
You were sorry you asked the question.
No. I actually, 3 weeks ago, a gentleman that him and I spoke in an event together, probably the beginning of 2020. And we got to connect it on the podcast. The podcast ended up going 20 minutes over because we talked about underwear that we have worn over the years and how it felt. And like 2 guys ending a podcast for 20 minutes talking about underwear.
It's not usual, Tim.
No, it's not. But only we could do it. And it is one of my highest rated podcasts. I don't get it.
Well, there you go.
Probably all the women are listening to it.
Yeah. Imagining.
Way too much fun today. Way too much fun.
Isn't it great?
I know. And to think, all right, I couldn't wait for weeks to get you on the podcast, and look at how much fun it was.
There you go. It was worth waiting for.
It was. So, well, Sorcha, repeat your website. Make sure everybody can come connect with you, audio and video wise.
Absolutely. So it is www.sorchamacaloon.com. If you key my name into Google, honestly, so much comes up about me. So I think I'm, the only one out there. So sorchamacaloon.com.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to come here and spend time with me and my audience and making me laugh. I love it.
It's been such an honor. Really. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Tim. I really mean that. Thank you.
Cool. To you guys, the audience, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. I hope you had as much fun today as I did recording this one. All right. Guys, if you haven't subscribed by now, subscribe to us where you get your podcast, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can catch all of these on the YouTube channel when we go live. In the meantime, guys, have a great day and come see us again. I think I have somebody coming in tomorrow. All right. I'm Tim Gillette. I'll catch you next time, guys.